In this video, I want to explain how to use a simple mathematical trick for laying out partition walls so they're square, either to perimeter walls or other partition walls that are in place. This illustration, we're looking from the ceiling down. So this is a top view. This is one perimeter wall, or the exterior wall of your basement. And then this is another one over here. And the question becomes, where do I place the end of this partition wall so that the corners are 90 degrees, so it's square to the existing walls? You might think that's a fairly simple thing to do if you've never tried to do it before, and a lot of people might be tempted to use a carpenter square in the corner and hope that that works. That's a no-no, and the reason is because a carpenter square isn't really long enough to give you an accurate reading. The wall can seem to be tight to the square here and here, but even a small deviation here is going to result in a fairly significant out of square orientation when you get to the end. So this is where a little simple high school geometry comes in. This is finally that time when the teachers told you someday you're going to use this. Well, this is that day. And it's the 3, 4, 5 trick, and it makes use of the Pythagorean theorem. So you're essentially using math to create a larger reference square for yourself. So if you put the partition wall against the perimeter wall where you want it, and you could even anchor this end down if you wanted to, but the first step is to measure over 3 feet. And then mark that spot there. And then measure up here 4 feet. Now, when the wall is positioned, when you move it from side to side, move the end from side to side, when the wall is in such a position that it is 5 feet from this spot down here up to this spot up here, measured diagonally, then you can be sure your wall overall is square to the perimeter wall. So the partition wall will be square, and that's good. That's what you want. The nice thing about this is that it sidesteps any minor deviations. Maybe the wood is a little bit warped. There are a bunch of things that can throw the whole carpenter square method off. But this sidesteps all that. You do this, it only takes a minute or two, and then you can plunk that wall down with confidence and fasten it. Now, there is another way. It's a bit more cumbersome. I don't really like it. But if you have a sheet of plywood with all the factory edges on it, at least North American plywood, has corners that you can count on to be square. So you could lay down a full sheet or even half a sheet with one side against the perimeter wall, and then that other adjoining side is going to be square. So that could be a kind of a large-scale reference for you, but that's kind of the process in a nutshell.